Okay, Assalamu alaikum. So in the last class we did exercise 4 and exercise 3 as well. Today we are going to start with exercise 5. So we're going to look at this question. So let's read it out, and whenever you're going to read any question, you have to make sure to underline the keywords that are being used. So you have decided to help at a sports event that will take place in your town next month. Okay, write an email to a friend, and that's an email that you have to write. In your email, you should describe the sports event that you are going to help at. Okay, say why you decided to help and what you will be doing at the sports event. So you have to do all of this. And if you notice a little bit, these two are similar, but it again differs from the context that you have to describe the sports event over here, and you are solely going to tell about what you will be doing in at the event. You have to make sure of the limit as well, and then 6 mark is for the content and 9 mark is for the language that has been used. And you can try to use as much of the way you understand this concept. You have to write it in that way, and like you can add more ideas in it as well. So just remember that whenever you're going to start your email, you're going to write it something like hi Aisha, and then a comma afterwards, something similar to it. Okay, so this is something a basic idea, and for this basic question I made sure to I actually wrote something for its answer as well. But you have to make sure whenever you're writing any answer, you have to be careful that you have to use a range of vocabulary, a good range of vocabulary that should be used. And you should add examples. If you can write something about that, and then you can also make sure that your writing is cohesive, or it's in a flow and there's nothing that is disconnected. So, and you can also use a varied sentence structure. So like you can use complex sentences and then simple sentences, all of them, or compound sentences. So use them, use a variety of them, use a range of vocabulary. Fancy vocabulary is always appreciated, but you should make sure that your words actually make some sense. It should not be, regardless of any context that you're using, that you do not even understand the meaning of that word either. This should not happen. Okay, so make sure whenever you're going to write, you have to address and talk about all the 3 points. And because it's an email, so it's a it had an informal style, so that you are going to write it to a friend or family. So it's a very conversational tone that you are going to adopt. You're not going to write a formal letter or something similar to that. So just make sure that everything is fully developed and all. So for this one, let me remove the writings. Okay, so I actually wrote something for you. We open it. Okay, so here it is. Now we can see it. So it starts with hi Sarah. The way I said that you're going to start with the hi, and then you're going to talk about Sarah. Okay, Sarah, and then comma. I just wanted to share something exciting. I have decided to volunteer at the annual community sports event happening next month in our town. So let's go back and see the first bullet point first. So the first bullet point was, can you see the screen? Okay. So the first bullet point was describe the sports event. Describe the sports event that you are going to help at. Okay. So over here, I just wanted to share something exciting. I have decided to volunteer at the annual community sports event happening next month in our town. So in the first greeting, something you started with an interest, that okay, I am interested, I'm excited about telling you something. And then you told your friend Sarah about how this annual community event is going to happen next month in the town. So you explained what it was. Now it's a weekend event. You add some details. It's a weekend event with football, volleyball, and even a fun run for kids. So there's a variety of events that are going to happen. Lots of people from nearby towns are expected to attend. So it's going to be quite the crowd. You see how this has been done right now. I have explained that what type of event it is, and how what are the total sports that are going to be covered by it. Okay, so she just introduced the entire event right now. Next, honestly, I signed up to help because go back. What was the question? Say why you decided to help at the sports event. Enjoyed being a part of community activities, and I thought it would be a great way to give back. Dean, right? So in this particular passage, she answered why did she sign up to help? Because she enjoyed these activities. So you have clearly told your reason so of why you're going to attend it or why you're going to help for it. And then you are going to add an extra detail that it would be great to meet new people. You can socialize. And then you're going to keep it very conversational by adding plus it's a nice break from our usual routine, right? So whenever you're talking to a friend, you do say things like that. You will not say something similar to it. In the third bullet point was explain what you will be doing at the sports event. So I will be working at the participants sign in and get their kids. So that's a very detailed answer. It's not limited to just I will be working at the registration desk. But but I added some detail as well on the first day, helping participants sign in, organizing the races, and making announcements. I'm actually looking forward to the energy and excitement of it all. So not only she mentioned what she did, what she is going to do at the event, but she also showed some interest and she also added some details and she also mentioned that she's excited about it. And there's a last note for the friend. Would you want to come along or maybe volunteer too? Let me know. So that's how you will end your email. Usually, you will probably end it with a question that you can ask your friend, or maybe a comment or anything similar to that, from which you can get a reply back from your email. And then you're going to read back like take care, comma, and then the name of your friend. Make sure you write these commas as well. These commas are very important, and that's a very simple, yet it covers everything, and it is within the word limit as well. So it covers all of the major points that has to be discussed. So if you notice, the task is being fulfilled as the content is fully relevant throughout, and then we also opt for a consistent text style. There is a conversational tone that is present, and then we are also connecting with the reader as well as we are addressing them directly. When we said plus it's a nice break from our usual routine, right? And then in the last one as well, would you want to come along or maybe volunteer too? Let me know. So that's how we did that. We added the sense of purpose. We made sure what audience going to connect to, and even though the vocabulary is not too difficult over here, but it's not that simple either. You have to maintain the fluency, you have to maintain the structure. Some simple and complex structures are also being used, and I think everything is organized that we have made three paragraph for each bullet point, and then we added another simple note in the end, and the greetings were properly made as well, and everything was cohesive. There was no um, problem within that. So that's apparently how you should answer an email. Okay. So that's it for exercise 5. Now we're going to look at the exercise 6. That is about review of the new magazine. Okay. Mm, you recently bought a copy of new magazine which is aimed at teenagers. Okay, so we bought a new copy magazine that is aimed at teenagers. Okay, you decide to review the magazine. So that's a review. So you're going to review the magazine and you will post the review on your school website. Okay, here are some comments about the magazine from your friends. You ask your friends to give some reviews and they said that it's quite expensive. I would prefer longer articles. There are some interesting topics. I love the photos. So some of them are negative and some of them are positive. Some really like the photos and they found it interesting, but on the other hand, some found it expensive and they thought that it would be better if there were longer articles. So now we have to write a review of the new magazine, and we have to write it about 120 to 160 words. I wrote one on that, so I'll show you as well. Firstly, whenever you're going to write any review, you have to write a title. So review Teen Vibe. Okay, that's a magazine worth flipping through. So that's the main title that I wanted to go with. So this is the name of the magazine that I just created it myself, Teen Vibe. As it was aimed for teenagers, so I thought Teen Vibe would be a better title. So Teen Vibe, a magazine worth flipping through. Now, last week I bought a copy of Teen Vibe, a new magazine aimed at teenagers, and I was curious to see if it lived up to the buzz. So now I actually added and told the readers who are going to read my review that what exactly am I going to review. So that's it. That's the main purpose of this introductory paragraph. Then, first off, or you could have also written firstly, the design is eye-catching. So that's a good keyword. That's a good vocabulary that I used. The design is very eye-catching. The photos are vibrant. Okay, that's another good word or a strong word that is being added in the review. And full of energy, perfect for a teenage audience. So here I actually use the comment as well. From fashion tips to celebrity interviews, every page looks like it belongs on your Insta feed. So why did I added something like that? Because we had to relate it with the teenagers as it was aimed at teenagers. So it was a relevant line to add. What's more, the topics are pretty engaging. Okay, so that was another comment as well. I especially enjoyed a feature on teen mental health. It felt relevant and respectful. So if you notice, after once I added one point, like I mentioned about the main point, and then I gave an example based on that. Then I added another point, and then I added another example based on that. So it's not directly an example, but it also, you can say, it describes it more. The topics are pretty engaging. So how they are engaging, that's how I explained over here. So here I said that the design is eye-catching and was full of energy, perfect for the teenage audience. How it was perfect for the teenage audience? Because from fashion tips to celebrity interviews, everything was related to the Insta feed, and Instagram is usually used by the teenagers as well. So that's how I covered this major body paragraph. Then I after the introductory, after the main body, then I talked about something that I did not like or something that is in the negative aspect of the review. In the review, I cannot add something of my own. Like I have to be very particular about adding anything. So, however, I found the articles a bit too short. In the review, we do add some sort of opinions, but I majorly took help from these comments itself, because I think that if I will use the same points, that would be better. And then I just added more onto that. Like I chose this point. There are some interesting topics, and I added some description onto it. I used this particular comment, and I added description based on that. Okay. However, I found the articles a bit too short. Just when I was getting into one, it ended. So here I mentioned articles were a bit too short, and how were they short? I explained that when I was getting into one, it ended. Like it ended before it started. A few longer pieces would definitely make it more satisfying to read. Also, at almost 600 rupees, it's not exactly budget friendly for students. Overall, Teen Vibe is fun and stylish, but it needs to offer more depth to be worth the price. I would recommend borrowing it before deciding to buy it regularly. So that was the introductory paragraph. That was the body paragraph. That was with the positive aspects. There was also a body paragraph with the negative aspects, and then in the by the end, it was a great conclusion, and then the obviously a title. was here as well. So that's how majorly these writings are done. Review writings have a very different tone than an email writing. You must have noticed that yourself as well, because you must have noticed that yourself as well, because in the email we were writing in a very conversational tone. Here we're not conversating with anyone. The purpose is to give your opinion about something and to tell whether you like it and whether you would recommend it to your readers and why would you do that. The main purpose of the review is to engage the audience from the start to the end, and then there should be a proper conclusion that should cover it. Okay, unlike the report that we write, in the reports we have to be very subjective. We cannot give our own opinions. Okay, wait, wait. Like in the report, let me be clear. In the report, we do not add any opinions. So no opinions. But in the review, and you do add opinions. Sometimes when I talk about both of these, I accidentally call report and then I talk about this and then I accidentally do that. So in case I mentioned it wrong, so I'm just correcting it. That report, in the report we do not add opinions, and in the review we do add opinions. Okay. So that's it about the review writing. So in this writing, we made sure that we get all the full marks. We included all the essential parts that were required. We added the details, the explanation that was required. We used some particular grammatical structures, as well as we had a variety of sentence structure as well. So in the review, try avoiding writing very simple sentences with simple repetitive vocabulary. For example, it was nice, it was good. Be a little more descriptive when you're writing it. And yes, and you have to make sure to make the paragraphs as well the way I made it, because and you can see how I linked every paragraph with each other as well. So this is how usually any reviewer writing looks like, and you can even expand it a little more if you can. Just make sure that it it is covered within the word limit. So that's the main problem that you have to take care of. So here it ends, and we're going to continue with the following exercises in the next class.